Yes, alright then, lads. Welcome back to Kossi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kossi. We are back again with a big preview. Arsenal could get up to. It is our first chance this season to get up to position 10. It is the first time Arsenal will be among the top 10 if we beat Burnley. We only have that opportunity. We do have the opportunity, by the way, to get up to position 10, to get into the top 10 if Arsenal beat Burnley and all the other clubs above us do not win. As simple as that. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kossi. It's a big preview. It's coming in a little bit later than expected, but it is coming in. Arsenal versus Burnley. It's one game that you think is gonna, is promising a lot, and I think it's gonna disappoint. We might not see many goals in this one, but I think it's as crucial as ever. Smash a like on the video. Consider subscribing to the channel if you do like more previews, more match reactions, and obviously more Arsenal news on your table. Right, let's get into it. So I've taken some time looking at these two clubs, versing each other and what we would expect out of this game. And in the end, I think Arsenal do stand a chance. My initial position about this game was a 1-1 draw, but I think Arsenal do stand a better chance after looking at all the statistics and how Burnley has been performing and how Arsenal has been performing as a team as well. I think Arsenal do stand a big chance to win the game. However, it is not going to come on a silver plate. Later on, we will get into the predicted lineups and the dynamics of the game. But I think if Arsenal stick to a game plan, one game plan, a good game plan, if Mikel can actually come up with a good game plan, we can win this game. As simple as that. Because in most cases, Arsenal do not have a game plan, and that is why you cannot beat Premier League teams, because it's so hard if you do not have if you do not have a game plan, if you do not have a plan to execute, it's gonna be very hard for you to beat any other Premier League teams. Because if you look at for example Burnley, for instance, they lost their last game to Everton 3-1. It should have been 4-1. I think the Abdoulaye goal should have stood. What a player is. I always admire so many players in the Premier League, but I do adore so much that man in Abdoulaye. But let's think about it. Let's put a lot of context around it, right? Let's put a lot of context around it. You have on one side, you have a Burnley side that is playing a 4-4-2, and on the other side you have an Everton side that is, have they lost a game this season? Everton, I don't think they have. I don't think they have lost a game. They're beaten Brighton at their peak, because I think Brighton have already started. Is one of those clubs that have already started the campaign so well. They beaten Burnley convincingly 3-1, and they have also collected a couple of other convincing results. But if you look at Everton as a club and how it executes its programs and how it plans its games, they have a decent manager in Rafa Benitez. So that already gives them the upper hand when they're coming to games. He plans ahead of the games. And that's what Arsenal do not have. Mikel doesn't do that. So against Burnley, you have to have a game plan, because they're gonna play a low block. We know they always play that famous 4-4-2 with Ashley Barnes and Chris Wood up top. And if you know the danger of Chris Wood, he's always dangerous in the air, and players like Ben White, they really struggle. He really struggles in the air, and that is one of the weaknesses we will talk about later in this preview. Can Arsenal hold off Chris Wood? That's the big question. Can we hold off Chris Wood with the likes of Ben White, who is not so good up in the air? We will talk about that later in the game. But to focus on Burnley before we focus on Arsenal, they play they play that remarkable, infamous 4-4-2, where you have Ashley Barnes picking up the leftovers of Chris Wood. So basically, what the likes of Dwight McNeil are gonna do is crossing that ball, finding the head of Chris Wood, and of course you're gonna head it away. We are gonna try to head it away as much as possible, and that is where the problem comes in, because the moment you head it out, it's gonna land onto the beautiful, feet of Ashley Barnes. Can we survive the rebounds? That is, I think that's gonna be their game plan. They're always gonna play a low block, especially against many clubs, or most clubs in the Premier League that are a threat. So against Arsenal, I do expect it's gonna be a low block. Against City, they always play a low block. Against United, against Chelsea, they always play that low block. Now with teams that play a low block, it could be good for them. If it's their day, you're never gonna break them down that easily. But if it's not their day, because they defend so close to goal, if you can exploit some spaces, because they play so close to goal, all the goal scoring opportunities that are going to come, are going to be very close to their, are going to be very close to their goalkeeper. So they could concede so many goals, and that explains the reason as to why in their last seven games, they do not have a win, and they have conceded in all goals, in all games. They have conceded at least a goal in all their last 7 Premier League games. So that shows you the low block really can be exploited. They concede. And Arsenal, that is one of the things we have to do, is we have to make sure that they concede. That takes me up. That takes me to my predicted lineup. Ramsdale in goal. I think I need to see much of more of Ramsdale to actually judge. So probably he can come back in goal. I don't think it's gonna be faced with with these kind of mass threats. I don't think it's gonna happen. And at the end of the day, yeah, I'll just go with him. I'll go with Aaron Ramsdale. Kian Tierney, Gabriel Magalhaes, Ben White, and Tomiyasu in a back four, not a back three. I need Gabriel and Ben White to be at their top game, because I'm gonna have Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes on their toes. So Tomiyasu and Kian Tierney will have the responsibility to go forward and help in creating the chances. Obasam Lokonga and Thomas Partey is a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Now, there's so many people who believe Ainsley was decent. I don't believe that. I absolutely don't believe that. It was Norwich and we didn't do much. So, look, I mean, he wasn't that bad. We didn't do player ratings. He wasn't that bad. But I don't think he was that magnificent as well, right? Let's be honest. He wasn't that magnificent, but he wasn't that bad, right? So Lokonga, Partey should be the pivot. Odegaard in front of them as the number 10. Now I've dropped Nicola Pepe. I've also dropped Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I've gone with Smith Rowe, Saka, and Alexander Lacazette. Now everybody's gonna say, "Cause you're crazy. Why have you gone for Lacazette over Aubameyang, and why have you gone for Smith Rowe over Pepe?" Now I know many Arsenal fans will not blame me for going for ESR over Nicola Pepe. Yeah, not so many people will will blame me. So the reason I've gone with Smith Rowe is easy. I feel we need to get these chances created. So I've gone with 2 playmakers. I've gone with literally 2 number 10s. In my lineup today. As simple as that. And I just need them to break down Brighton, because Burnley, we are not going to run a lot. That's the truth. We are really not going to run a lot. We are not going to have lots of spaces, to run into. We are actually going to have a lot of space behind us and limited space, in front of us. We could have around 11 players, in front of us trying to defend and defend the ball. So you just need players with that intelligence to break down a low block, and that's why I've gone with Martin Odegaard and Emile Smith-Rowe with Bukayo Saka. Now the reason I've gone with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, with Alexander Lacazette over Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, is his ability to hold play, and that's and it's a no-brainer. He's gonna hold play, and I think we will need him. We need a player that can hold on to that ball in the enemy's box, in the opponent's box, and I think Alexander Lacazette can do that for you, and that is my predicted lineup. Players to watch in this game: Odegaard and Smith Rowe, because we need to create chances. We need to break them down, right? We need to break them. They're not going to be so many spaces, so we have to utilize the simple small spaces, in the Brighton defense. So I think Odegaard and Smith Rowe have to be on their top game. For Brighton, I'm sorry. Why do I keep mentioning Brighton? For Burnley, you have Dwight McNeil, you have Ashley Barnes, and Chris Wood. Those should be the three players. Of course, their goalkeeper Nick Pope as well. Very, very top goalkeeper. So Arsenal have to beat, their defense and also beat their goalkeeper as well. My final prediction: Arsenal 2, Burnley 1. It's gonna be a very, very close tie, but I still think Arsenal will win it. A chance to get to top 10. Who wouldn't take that? I would take it, and I know Arsenal will take it. We'll be back with the match reaction and obviously a couple of other videos, player ratings, 6 things we learned, and a couple of others. See you then.